welcome back to another Storytime video. So today I had originally planned to tell the story of my first painting class, the only painting class I've ever gone to, but I was like, that's probably not going to be all that amusing. And so I decided to tell the stories about my various pets. I don't have that many pets. I've never really had that many pets. But we're going to start with the very first pet I ever had, which was a goldfish. Long story short, I had it for maybe less than a week, and my brother's fish ate it. Rip fish. It was probably named Goldie because I was so basic. Anyway, second pet I got was a white mouse with a black butt. I named it Ashley after one of my friends at the time. When I say friends, we were probably acquaintances. She thought I was weird for naming my mouse after her, so obviously we weren't that close. But basically what happened to it was traumatized. Because whenever I had it, I was really young, and so my sister was really young. And at one point in time, I was not in my room. I was outside playing, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. And all of a sudden, I hear screaming coming from the inside. And I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? And so I go back inside, and I venture into my room, where I find my sister with my mouse down her shirt. It's scratching her and it's clawing her, trying to not fall. And she's screaming because it's scratching her. And yeah, my mouse freaked out so much that I never got to play with it again, because it was such a traumatic event for my little mouse that anytime you would go to pick it up in its cage, it would run as fast as it could to the other side of the cage. It always hid. It never let you touch it. You could never feed it from your hand anymore. I basically didn't have a mouse. I just had something I could watch. So my sister basically ruined my first real pet for me. So thanks for that, Maya, if you're even watching these anymore. But it was very upsetting. And then how it died was it and its sister, Maya, which is so awkward. My brother's mouse was a black mouse, and it was Ashley's sister, and he named it Maya. But they both got this disease in its eyes or something, and they always scratched their eyes. So we brought them to the vet, and we got the medicine, but the medicine actually ended up killing them. So it was kind of no purpose medicine at all, because it killed them. Oh, it killed them anyway. So that was very sad. And then the next pet, oh, I had the hiccups. The next pet I got was a white teddy bear hamster. Was it white? It might have been like a creamy yellow color. Anyway, I think it was white. It's been so long. Named Sunny, because at the time I loved the TV show Sunny with a Chance. Throwback to that. But I had it for a long time. It was the sweetest hamster, ever. I believed it had magic fur, because anytime I'd have a cut on my finger or something, I would pet and play with her, and it made it feel a lot better. Honestly, I was probably just happy and wasn't paying attention to the pain, because there's not really anything actually magic hair. But I loved her so much. The only time she ever hurt me was whenever my friend, she wasn't really my friend, she was so annoying, came over, and I didn't even want her over, but she came over anyway, and I had to go eat. So I went into the kitchen and I ate really fast, and I had Kentucky Fried Chicken or something. And I came back. I didn't have time to wash my hands or anything, because I was eating really fast, because I don't like to leave my friends in my room alone. And at the time, for some reason, we were eating at the table like a family. But I returned to my room, and she was getting her out. I had this old whipped cream bowl that I cleaned out that I would use to get her in and out of the cage. And she was using it to get her out. So I was like, oh my god, no! And I ran over and I grabbed the bowl from her. And I was telling her, you can't do that now when I'm not in here. That's my hamster. You cannot play with it. And I had my thumbs in the edge of the bowl to hold it. And because I smelled like chicken, Sunny bit me. That was the only reason she ever bit me. She never scratched me or bit me any other time other than that. So I didn't even blame her. I blamed the girl that came over, who was trying to take her out. And I didn't get to wash my hands, so I smelled like food. And yeah. So I put her back in after that. And I told the girl she had to leave, because I was angry. I was bleeding. I was like, you better leave before I hurt you. get out. And I don't think she was ever allowed to play with Sunny again. But something I remember very very specifically from Sunny was that the cage that I had for her was, at one point in time, all bars, and then bars across the top, so it was all bars. At night, she would climb up them like a ladder, climb up to the top and hang from the ceiling, and then just drop. And it was like a 3-story cage, because it was like the ground, and then it had a shelf, and then it had another shelf that was above that. So it was basically like 3 stories. And I remember one time I was watching her, and normally I would get her, like I would catch her whenever she would fall, but I knew that she was doing this just because she wanted to, and that she wasn't gonna get hurt. So I was like, really? And it was like always late that she did it because they're nocturnal. And so it was like really late, and I'm like, really, Sunny, what are you doing? She was at the very top, and she falls, and she goes, hits the one shelf, hits the one shelf, hits the ground. And I was like, did she just die? And I was freaking out. So how she died was kind of peaceful. Probably the peaceful way any of my pets have died, actually, now that I think about it. She went to sleep one night, or one morning, I guess, because she's nocturnal, and just never woke back up. So it's one of the most peaceful ways to go out, in my opinion. I'm so glad that she wasn't in any pain. It was her time. She went to sleep. She never woke up. And that's it. My next pet wasn't really even mine. It was like a shared between my sister and me kind of thing. It was a robo hamster named Baby Doll. Or Baby Dolly, I don't even remember. But what's really sad was I don't remember anything about her. Like, it was always in my sister's room. I never played with it or anything because it was a robo hamster, and they're so small that they're hard to play with, and they run really fast. So they aren't really a good pet for children, honestly, but whatever. I wanted one. My sister got one, so I wanted one. But it choked to death on something in its cage, whether it was its food or it was chewing on mulch, I don't know, but it choked to death, and it was so sad because I watched it die. And this was like, I was in 8th grade, so it was like 3 years ago, so I was like 13, so obviously like I knew what death was, I knew it was happening, but it was so sad to just not be able to do anything to save the tiny little hamster, because what am I going to do? You know, my mom was trying to help it, but what are you going to do? Give a hamster that's this big, mouth to mouth? Like, I could eat her. You know, how am I going to blow air into her tiny little lungs? And it was so freaking sad, but that's what happened. I'm so sorry for it. And now the only pet that I have right now is my cat, which I've had for like 6-7 years. He's pretty old, but the most funniest thing about him is how we got him. So basically we stole him. Just gonna put that out there. So we had lived in our old house, and one day my stepdad goes into the garage, and my stepdad doesn't like animals. He doesn't like pets. And he goes, why? The garage was closed. Garage door was closed, back door was closed, everything was closed. And he goes, why is there a cat in here? And I was in the kitchen, I was like, cat? I want to see a cat. And so I went out, and it was him, much smaller than he is now, curled up in a little cat loaf ball under one of the chairs. And I was like, Mom, there's a cat, I want to keep the cat. Mom, there's a cat, give me the cat, I want it. And my mom was like, no, I think that's Vinny's cat. Vinny was my brother's friend at the time. I don't know if they're still friends, but that's who he belonged to. And I was like, oh, that stinks, but he's an outdoor cat, maybe he'll come back. So we got him some food and we fed him. I think it was like raining outside or something, and that's why he ventured inside. So we fed him, and then like next day whenever the rain was gone, he left. But he always came back because he knew that there were a bunch of people here to pet him, and we also gave him food. Because where he lived, there was an excruciatingly huge amount of pets there. Vinny has so many pets, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal because I think there's a pet limit, but they have so many pets that Curtis his name's Curtis, never really got much food. He never got much love because there were so many animals, and they didn't really care whether they pet them or not. And like all the cats are like outside cats. So he always adventured around, he was always outside, he never really went back, so he didn't get a lot of food and stuff. And so whenever we gave him food and we gave him love, he was like, I like these people. And so he kept coming back, and then one day he got sick, like really sick, and we had to go get him shots or something from the vet, because I was like, Mom, we can't let him die. I think I was like 8 or something like that, 8 to 10, around that. I was like, probably more 10 now that I think about it. But I was like, we can't let him die. Like, I don't care whose he is. We can't let him die. And so we paid for his shots and all that. And then Mom one day went over to Vinny's house and went up to Vinny's parents and was like, this is what's up, man. We took Curtis to the vet, and we paid for his shots, and we paid for all of his bills. Here's your choice. We get to keep the cat as our own, or you get to give us back the money for the bets, the bills and things. And they were like, keep him. we have like 8 cats. We don't need him. Which sounds so sad when I say it out loud, but true. And so we got to keep him, and he became ours, and we've had him ever since. It's been very rough. He's almost died kind of a few times because he used to be an outdoor cat, obviously. And he would go out whenever he wanted to when we lived at the old house. We'd let him go out whenever he wanted to. He came back in whenever he wanted to. It just kind of happened, you know, free for all. You do what you want to do. And then one day he comes back, not the same. And he went under my sister's bed to sleep. He kind of did that every now and then. He felt safe. But he hadn't come out for a long time. And I mean, like, it's been over a day. He was not coming out. So I was like, okay, he's still under there. Something's up. So I had Maya move off all the stuff on her bed, and I lifted the mattress, and like I kind of crawled in under there kind of type thing. And I was like, hey buddy, are you okay? And I was like petting him, and like I touched his arm, and he was like, not gonna happen. And he was super weak and he's super tired because he hadn't eaten anything and he wasn't moving. And so I was like, Mom, something's up with Curtis. Oh my god. That just happened. But he had 2 puncture wounds under his arm, basically like where an armpit would be if he was a human. And that's because he got bitten by a snake. Obviously it was poisonous of some type, or injected him with something. His arm was huge and swollen and gross, but basically what we had to do was we had to pull him out from under the bed because he couldn't move, force feed him kitten milk bought from the store. I had to carry him to his litter box back and forth every day for him to go to the bathroom, and we had to squeeze out everything that was inside his arm, which is so gross. But and then we put like Neosporin or something on it because it was okay. We actually asked a vet, and that's like, yeah, that's fine, you can do that, it's perfectly fine. And we would wrap it in gauze so he wouldn't scratch at it or bite at it, the scabs or something. So that's what we had to do to save my kitty. But he's still living good now. He's, I think, about 8 years old. When we got him, he was like a year or something old, and we've had him for about like 6 or 7 years. So I believe that he's 8 years old, which in cat years is 58 years old. Wait, no, just kidding. 56 years old. So he's an old dude. And I'm going to show you him. He's so cute right now. I keep looking at him. I don't want to get him. I don't want to move him, so I'm just going to show you guys. Here's what my baby looks like. Aww. Kitty. Look at him. Isn't he just sweet? Oh, I just love him so much. Alright. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Tell me all the pets that you guys have. I love animals so much. I want to know about your guys' pets. Or if you don't have any pets, what pets you would have. Tell me what your favorite animals are. My favorite animals are dogs. And growing up, I always loved dogs. I didn't really like cats. But then we got a cat. And I was like, okay. But so, yeah. Tell me what you guys like down below. Check out my social media links if you would. And, I post pictures of him every now and then when he does something super cute. Please like, I would surely appreciate it, and subscribe to become a bunny today. And yeah. Have you guys ever had pet bunnies? I've never had a pet bunny. I bet that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, peace out. Bye bye, freaking bunny. See you guys on the next time. All again next time. Bye guys.